Hulu has a brand new original movie coming out this week called Prey. This is a prequel to the original Predator movie, which came out in 1987, and when it came out, it became one of my dad's favorite films of all time. Then he showed me it at a very young age, and ever since then, I have been clamoring. I just want another great Predator movie like the original, something badass, simple, and ruthless. And goddamn, is Prey the best Predator film that we have gotten since 1987, as well as the perfect one. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're discussing Hulu's brand new original movie, Prey. Once again, this is the perfect Predator movie. Like I said in my opening statement, it's just as good as the original, and this is about the origin stories of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago before we saw him arrive on Earth. The Naru, a skilled female warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. This is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did an amazing job with 10 Cloverfield Lane, and it's written by Patrick Eisen and stars the likes of Amber Mid-Thunder as Naru. Now, I, again, have been very excited for this just because Dan did such an amazing job with 10 Cloverfield Lane, and as a giant Predator fan, my Predator heart is soaring with so much joy. This film is everything that you could want and more, and I think Predator fans are going to be expecting, maybe not expecting a lot, because the last film was quite disappointing and it could have been so much better, and this movie goes back to basics in so many different ways. I think some people might want a little bit more from that and some people might not, but for me and the approach that I wanted it to be, this is exactly what I wanted this film to be and more, and I'm very excited to discuss this film with you guys today. So if you are new here and you love talking movies, why not hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies and TV over here on a daily basis, as well as leave your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're enjoying movies like this, well, this is going to be the spot for you to keep talking movies. So let's talk about the Predator all down there. With one of my main reasons why this movie is perfect is, of course, the performance from Amber Mid-Thunder, who plays Naru in here. I thought she was absolutely phenomenal in here. You really come to understand her story and the placement in here. Now, again, a lot of that does go down to the writing and the directing, which I'm going to speak about in just a second, but a lot of this film is about just physical approach to survival, and Amber brings that to life in so many different ways. You truly feel like you are captivated, like you are in her shoes in so many different avenues, and I really loved what they were able to bring into her performance, and again, what Amber was able to bring to this role, because while the character, and every character in a sense, is pretty one note and one dimensional, not saying that the original Predator film didn't do anything better with that either, you really come to care about her. You come to understand why she is so engaged and why she wants to, in the end of the day, take down this thing. You believe in her hopes and joyness, and again, what this tribe is all about, you really get that. Now let's jump over to Dan's directing here. Dan Trachtenberg, again, did an amazing, thrilling job with 10 Cloverfield Lane and comes now to make a Predator movie, which, flat out, one of the best things about this film, which we'll talk about the action, the brutality, and everything like that. And again, Amber did a really good job with a lot of that, as well as Dan Delrigo, who plays the Predator in here. But the one thing I love what Dan was able to do, specifically with this script, is that this is a survival story. One about a prey and a predator. But the most unique aspect about this is, of course, yes, the story is called Prey, and what is the Predator doing? He's hunting down his prey. He's hunting down things that could be a threat to him, and he wants to take on the biggest game possible. You see him hunting down certain things throughout this entire story. Say it's a lion, say it's a bear, say it's other human beings in here. He is hunting these things down. But at the same time, we look at Naru's character, and she's, in a sense, doing the same thing, trying to prove herself to her tribe. And when you look at both categories, while it is only one predator in here, there's an aspect in there to look that, in a way, he is trying to prove himself to his own kind. And I really love the parallels between both of these characters, because the Predator, it doesn't talk, it doesn't give any backstory to anything like that. It looks just to be a killing machine. But there is more to that. There's more to that delicacy that there is. And I love how, again, the story was able to split it down the middle and show prey and predator. And in a way, in the sense, we're all the kind of same. Because while this thing is hunting them down, she at the same time is turning from prey into predator and hunting this thing down. And I really love, again, how the delicateness of taking a story and visually showing this in so many different ways, specifically within the editing. And there's a couple moments in particular just in the middle of the movie where you're watching this and their journeys are very much mirrored, and then they meet for the first time. And then they backtrack. And the parallels continue there all the way up until the end. Literally up until the ending, to where something happens and you watch it and you're like, that coincides to this. And again, it was like it was in harmony, yin and yang. And a lot of brilliance in this must be given again to Patrick's script as well as Dan's directing. And I was very engaged with that all. But of course, when you do come to a Predator movie, one of the main things that you want is badass action, awesome action scenes, ruthlessness, brutality, blood, gore. And you get a ton of that in here. And I really mean there is a ton of that in here. Specifically in the way that they handle the visual effects in here. A lot of people are probably worried that why is this just going to Hulu? Why is this not going to theaters? And I do think it is a goddamn travesty that this is not going to theaters. I understand that there might be some things behind the scenes of why it's holding it back from theaters. But this is a movie that I wish I could have engaged myself with an opening night crowd who also loves the Predator, because there were moments where I was going, oh! Like, I was physically reacting during this film and having such a blast. A lot of those great moments just continue throughout this movie, and I loved it. There's some action scenes with, again, this tribe and the way that they're trying to take on the Predator that involves them just running and jumping. The way that the camera shifts and shings is so beautiful. The gore, the green guts coming out of the Predator and then flinging out and glowing and hitting these. It's just pure spectacle. And it's badass at all hell. And again, I'm trying to stay away from going into, again, spoilers, because there's so much to really invest yourself in here within the action scenes. But some of the equipment that the Predator gets to use just very much harkens back. It's a very much bare bones Predator. He has some, unique isms, but it is 300 years. So it's not all the same technology that we got back in the original Predator movie. And I love the new devices that they're able to really tinker along with. One of the ones that you probably see in the trailer is the shield. Love how they use that. The mask that they used for the Predator is awesome, and I love the design that they decided to go with this time around. It's different than what you remember, but at the same time, it's familiar. And it just, again, feels like you're going back home. And it does, in a way, feel like a perfect prequel to the Predator franchise. Because in a way, while it doesn't have direct tie-ins to 1 or 2, obviously we know certain things that have happened in those movies. We can see how they are relevant in here, as well as some really good Easter eggs that if you are fans of Predator, you're going to be like, hey, I know exactly what that's from. That's the kind of moments that make me excited. This is a film that you can tell was made by a passionate crew of filmmakers who also love the Predator and just wanted to give one of the damn best Predator movies yet, if not, some people might be arguing, the best Predator film. I think this is tied with the original and hands down is a perfect Predator movie from top to bottom. If anything is holding this film back, it is the fact that I just wish they dove a little bit deeper into our main character, and the only reason that I really cared about her was due to the performance. I found some of the script to be a little bit lacking when it comes down to character dimension between everyone. Everyone's a little bit one-dimensional and pretty much very much characterized. You know how this character is going to be, you know how that character is going to be, and in the end of the day, you pretty much know how the story is going to go with most of these characters. But man, oh man, did I enjoy this film. And that's again where I just have to emphasize, Prey is the perfect Predator film. It's simple, bare bones, but imaginative in the way that the cinematography captures this entire landscape, entire countryside, and you really feel transformed into this period piece. And it's gorgeous, it's ruthless, it's absolutely downright brutal at times, and in the end of the day, it is thrilling. When the Predator first comes in and he's all camouflaged and you see him lurking around, you've seen the scene from the trailer where he takes on the bear. There's so much more to that. And it's all thrilling in its side. And you just sit there on the edge of your seat. And then when the action scenes kick in, again, just some great one-shot takes that are just really good. And some ones that are just, again, harkening back to those old school action scenes that just give you such joy. As a massive Predator fan, I could not be happier with this impressive feature. And I think Dan Trachtenberg, You have brought to life one hell of a ride, and Amber Midthunder is the perfect protagonist to lead us through this entire story. I could go on and on for hours about Prey, but other than that, I'm going to give Prey an A. Really wasn't for the one-note characters, this would be a perfect movie, but in the end of the day, it's still a perfect Predator film. So let me know down below, guys, what your guys' thoughts are. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well. If you're interested in seeing movies early, head on over to Samtron Films. But of course, until next time, stay classy.